Good evening and welcome to Suffering in Silence with TMA on Luv Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We're here every Friday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. Luv Bay, we're rising out of the ashes together. Our topic on this evening is beauty, inside and out. And tonight we have with us our co-host, Carrie Hardy. And we have with us one of my good friends, Tangela James. And Luv Bay on tonight, this week, we're going to be interactive. So I need for everyone, take a moment, grab a mirror, a small handheld mirror. If you have a full-length mirror you want to go stand in front of or be in front of, you can use your phone. If you're in the kitchen, use a toaster or a spoon, anything that gives back your reflection. So as we're grabbing mirrors, listeners, if you have any questions or comments for our guest or co-host, you can email us at sufferinginsilencedv@gmail.com. If you have resources that you would like to share with us on a national or local level from your country, your community, or your local organizations, or your faith community, you can also email us at sufferinginsilencedv@gmail.com. So, Carrie, you want to take a moment and say hello this evening?
Hi, my name is Carrie Hardy, and I'm a writer. I helped Tia edit her autobiography / narrative with ethnic violence. And I love writing on women's identity. I love working with young people. And I love the conversations we have on here because I think that it touches on some topics that can be uncomfortable to speak on. But I think it's great to speak on topics in a safe environment. And to listen to something where you know you're not going to be triggered, or you know someone's not going to come on and be like, say something really left field. So yeah, that's what we try to aim for on this show. So yeah, I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. And for your editing services, Carrie, how can you be reached?
My email is imagesattainable, the word images, and then the word attainable. All of that is spelled phonetically and there's no space, at gmail.com. And my Instagram is Carrie Hardy 23, KERRIHAA 23. So if you want to DM me over there, that's fine. That's fine too.
Okay, thank you. So, Tangela, you want to say hello, introduce yourself to Luv Bay?
Yes, hi, I'm so happy to be here. I'm Tangela James. I am on the Lansdowne Borough Council. I am the chair of the Finance Committee, and I also sit on the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee and Community Relations Committee. I am also a member of the Delaware County Black Caucus, and I am co-chair of the Communications Committee. And I've been on the council for about 6 years, and we've just been doing a lot of different work in the community. And I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. So, Luv Bay, on tonight, I actually want to start with sharing an article. I do have a couple resources to share as well. But this article was written by the National Domestic Violence Hotline. This is from January 10th of this week. So again, it's from the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The title, National Domestic Violence Hotline recognizes tragic milestone of answering 6 millionth contact. Austin, Texas, January 10th, 2022, PR Newswire. On December 30th, at 2:22 a.m. Central Standard Time, the National Domestic Violence Hotline answered its 6 millionth contact since its inception in February of 1996. The 6 millionth contact was a chat answered by Dana, a digital advocate. The chatter identified as a woman from Ohio who was experiencing a complex abusive situation. The hotline is the only 24/7 hotline specifically dedicated to those impacted by relationship abuse in the United States via live call, chat, and text. This bittersweet milestone demonstrates that the hotline and the support we provide to survivors is urgently and increasingly needed. It is troubling how quickly we reach the milestone and how many people continue to experience domestic violence, said Katie Ray Jones, CEO of the National Domestic Violence Hotline. The number of survivors reaching out for support each year is growing. The time it takes to answer 1 million contacts continues to get shorter as demand for our services increases. It took nearly 7.5 years to answer our first million, and just over 2.5 years to answer the latest. The hotline's mission is to support and shift power back to those who are impacted by relationship abuse. Since 1996, we have kept our lines open 24/7 for anyone who needs us, and 6 million people have connected with our advocates to receive support, connection to resources, and hope for a safer future. Since the onset of COVID-19, survivors have faced additional risks and barriers to support, including increased isolation. Many are forced to isolate with the one causing the harm. Housing instability, economic effects, and increased need for legal services and individual professional counseling. In an analysis of its COVID-19 contact data from March 16, 2020 to March 15, 2021, the hotline found 23,056 of those reaching out to the hotline specifically cited COVID-19 as a condition of their experience. 35% of those contacts experienced financial abuse, including an abusive partner monitoring their purchases, preventing them from working, and restricting access to money like stimulus checks. Since 2016, housing instability since 2016, housing instability as a contact concern has grown by an average of 20% annually. The hotline saw a 19% increase in requests for referrals to individual professional counseling during COVID-19 year over year. As we connect with millions of survivors throughout the United States, we see their strength. Reaching out for support is brave, and our organization works to transfer power back to all those impacted by relationship abuse, said Sherry Epps, Vice President of Program Services. We will continue to be here to empower survivors with resources, support, and hope that a safer future is possible for the next million and beyond. Last year, 2021, marked the 25th anniversary of the hotline, another significant milestone. The need for the hotline services continues to increase. In fact, contact volume has increased by 43% in the last 5 years. Needing a national hotline to serve domestic violence survivors is a somber reminder of just how pervasive intimate partner violence is, and that we all must do more to support those who experience abuse. The National Domestic Violence Hotline envisions a world where all relationships are positive, healthy, and free from violence. If you or someone you know is experiencing relationship abuse in any form, help is available. The National Domestic Violence Hotline provides free, confidential support 24/7, 365 days a year. You can text START, START, to 88788. You can call 1-800-799-7233, or you can chat online at thehotline.org. You are not alone. And again, that was an article written by the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And some resources that we have to share, the first would be the Florida Coalition of Domestic Violence. Their phone number is 800-500-1119. Their number TDD is 800-621-4202. Domestic violence agencies in the Tampa Bay area. In Hillsborough County, you can reach out to the Spring of Tampa Bay. Their website is thespring.org. You can call or text their 24-hour crisis line at 813-247-7233. Their teletype line is 813-248-1050. In Pasco County, you can reach out to Sunrise of Pasco County. Their website is www.sunrisepasco.org. Their 24-hour hotline is 1-888-668-7273, or you can reach them at 352-521-3120. And last, we have Pinellas County Community Action Stops Abuse. Their website is CASAPINELLAS.org. Their 24-hour hotline is 727-895-4912. You can also send a text to CASAPETE.org/chat. And their teletype line is 727-828-1269. Those are some of the resources that we have for you this evening, Luv Bay. And again, our topic on tonight is beauty, inside and out. And I would like to start our topic by sharing a daily affirmation. This is from one of my dear friends, Victoria Rose. She wrote a book, One Testimony at a Time, and this is actually her personal story of surviving domestic violence. And Victoria is also a dedicated mom of a 22-year-old who has autism. She has written several books on her experience as a mom dealing with a child on the autism spectrum. And she's just been really encouraging with her writing. And I wanted to share a daily affirmation that she put in her book, and I just thought that it was so beautiful. So again, her book is One Testimony at a Time. My daily affirmation: look at yourself in the mirror. Lock your eyes together. I love you. Say it again. Hear it. Feel it. Receive it. You are enough to create love from within. You are enough to manifest your own life. Your pain has healed. Your smile has returned. Your peace will bring you balance. Your life is your own. You will feel love because you can. And so it is. And again, this is a daily affirmation from Victoria Rose. Her book, One Testimony at a Time, it's available on lulu.com, LULU.com, and it's also available on Amazon. So I start my first question tonight. Tangela, I'll ask you first, just in general, what is your description of beauty, or what do you think beauty is?
So I think that's a twofold answer. First, it's more so in the eyes of the beholder if we're talking about just strictly physical beauty. But if we're talking about internal beauty, I think that it's how you feel about yourself and acceptance of yourself, how you see yourself, and also how you treat other people, how kind you are to the world. I think beauty is in the flaws and in everything that you do, and acceptance of all of it. So, and I also think that society doesn't allow us to define what beauty is for ourselves, and it tends to define it for us. And I think that it's important for us to see ourselves as beautiful, regardless of what we see on social media or anything like that. So I think it's more so just accepting everything that we are.
Awesome. Carrie, what do you think? What are your thoughts? What is your description of beauty?
I think beauty is definitely related to love. And I think when we can reflect onto others the love God feels for us, I feel like that's beautiful, because one of the things that God does not do is God does not love conditionally. And it might sound redundant to keep saying God instead of the pronoun he, is that I feel sometimes using the pronoun he for some people, for some women specifically, can be intimidating, because sometimes I wonder, it used to be, just because of some of the things I've experienced, sometimes it would be awkward for me to conceptualize God as a man. But yeah, so I think love is being able to love yourself. I mean, beauty is being able to love yourself unconditionally and being able to love others unconditionally. Because even with me, I struggle with perfectionism. And so sometimes that unconditional acceptance of myself is really hard. But when I can overcome that and be like, this is what I have right now, I think that's beautiful. And I know it seems like maybe I'm not answering the question, but I think beauty is a really, really abstract thing. Because when you talk about beauty, you're talking about perception, and perception is very subjective. It depends on the person's perspective. So I think beauty is just simple things. Like maybe if you're laughing with someone you care about, giving yourself a break, that's beautiful. Going to do something for someone that you normally wouldn't do because you're like, I've been in that situation before, let me help this person. Empathy, that's beautiful. I think those things like that are beautiful. Things that reflect the love of God, that's beautiful. Because to me, that's really the only objective thing that I can say is beautiful. Because like Tangela said, can be, people see beauty as in the eyes of the beholder. So when we think about something that's objectively beautiful, I feel like it's when we reflect the love of God on ourselves and on others. Because it's real easy to get frustrated with. And I feel like especially now we outposition and people are always like, oh, if someone is not contributing to your life, you have to let them go. And I think that's true. And it's like, I'm focusing on me this year. And it's like, I think you should, but we should also try as best as we can. We're still human. But I think as best as we can, we should try to reflect the love of God. And in that, there is so much beauty.
So I agree with what both of you were saying. And I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think beauty is our own individual answers. And no one can make you think or feel one way or another. To me, I know definitely in my eyes, beauty is not a magazine cover. That's unrealistic. Beauty is tall, it's short, it's thin, it's wide, it's thick. Beauty is very, very dark. It is very, very light. It's brown. It's all different shades and sizes and colors. But beauty is also character. You know, as you both were saying, beauty is also intelligence. Beauty is your kindness and your thoughtfulness. It's what you do for others, Carrie, as you were saying. And beauty is how you care for yourself. It's how you look after and care for you. Beauty is how you assist others. It's how you mold your children and how you go forward in your life. I believe one of the biggest things is that beauty is actually beauty when you are at your best, because you're doing your best and you're doing your best for you. And when you're at your best for you, that kind of automatically just gives off something where you just do your best and give your best to others, because you can't give anybody anything if you're not giving it to yourself and if you don't have it for yourself. So my next question, Tangela, I would ask you, as a mom and specifically being the mother of a daughter, how would you or how do you instill beauty within her? And how do you get her to see it and recognize where she can, form her own answer, of beauty without waiting or needing someone on the outside world to tell her that she's beautiful or to confirm it to her?
Well, I have a 4-year-old, so she's still very young. So I just try to basically build up her self-esteem and give her positive affirmations. I try to help her to see that every part of her is beautiful. We celebrate her melanated skin. We celebrate her kinky hair. We celebrate everything about her. We sing songs about it. We recognize it. We talk about it. We talk about how magical she is. we celebrate her inside and out.
So Carrie,
And
let me.
so we just do everything that we can to kind of allow her to recognize that every part of her is beautiful.
So, and I agree with that. And so, my daughter, my youngest daughter, is 8 years old, and to me, I think because she's just a beautiful kid. She just really is, and I think children, they're just innocent, And when they're able to be children, and when they're able to just go about and just be themselves, they're just so sweet and so innocent. And right now, they're at those ages where they're really impressionable. And so for me, it's really easy to say, to my daughter, you're beautiful, but it's just as easy for her to receive it, because I'm giving it to her. And so it makes a huge difference, I believe, when parents are giving that to their children. And so they know, even if they don't hear it anywhere else, my mom told me this, my dad told me this. And so that helps to build them in a way and give them a stability that they absolutely need. But I think to do that now, to hear our voices as parents, instead of, as you said, social media or the television or whomever outside of the house, I think that makes a huge difference. And it just gives them just that little spark that they need, even if they really don't think about it. Because there are times, and I purposely say to my daughter, I purposely tell her, you're beautiful, you're pretty, you look really good today, or whatever you just did, it was amazing, you did a great job. I purposely say those things, and sometimes she'll take it and as a real compliment, and it makes her feel really good. And sometimes it's like, Mom, you're just saying that, but I want her to hear it. But she'll be able to go back on that and have that memory and have that feeling. So even if she can just easily brush it off in the moment, I believe her hearing is now at 8. It makes a difference when she gets to 15 or 16 years old. I think that makes a difference.
You're building the foundation.
Exactly. So Carrie, as you work with young people, how do you instill beauty in the young men and the young women that you mentor?
So instill beauty within them,
yes,
or help them to believe that they are beautiful?
Both.
I mostly right now I'm working with young Black men, and then I also work with a young lady, and she's Malaysian, and it's really different working with boys versus girls. It's so different, and sometimes I'm short circuiting. But for example, I don't want to say her name, but I guess I'll use a pseudonym. Layla, the girl from Malaysia, she I could just tell she wasn't doing well. I don't know, I could just tell. And so I took her shopping. She's a girly girl, and so I think a lot of the things with beauty, I think it really depends on where you are on the gender spectrum. Because for me, I'm not that girly. When I was little, I was a tomboy, but then when I was in 4th grade, I kind of got exposed to society and whatever. So then I started getting more into that girliness and everything like that. But I took her to go shopping, and she even started after that. She started focusing on her schoolwork more. She started doing things that she needed to be doing for her life, just because I took her shopping with me. Because for her, she's very feminine. So for her, she's like, oh, I don't, and it's not necessarily materialistic. She's like, oh, I don't have things to look nice. I don't have stuff. And it's not like she's materialistic. That's her personality, and she identifies a lot with being a girl. So in society, that's, looking cute, being able to style it and stuff like that. And so when I did that for her, that made her feel beautiful. Now, on the other hand, my boys, I took one of them to get a burger, and he was eating that burger, and he felt beautiful. So, I mean, it just depends. And people say boys are a lot simpler, but that's actually not true. Because they have all these emotions under their masculinity.
Yeah,
which is very complicated. But yeah, so I guess how I instill beauty with them is just making them feel beautiful, making them feel that I care in their own customized and special way. And for these boys, a lot of these boys having their back, that is very important. Like having their back, making sure you speak up for them, because to them, when someone disrespects them or someone gives them side eye, it's like, oh wow, you didn't say anything. Yeah, that kind of makes them feel like they have lower self-worth. And that's kind of cultural too, because maybe if you're not from that, or maybe if you grew up with a stepmother or something, maybe we just ignore the person and be like, oh, this person's rude, just like keep walking. But no, in their head, they're like, you didn't say nothing. Like, you're really just gonna let that person. That for them, that's like you need to at least give them a look back or something. So it depends. You just really making someone feel beautiful is just basically making them know that you care in their own way. Because when you let somebody know that you care, but you do it according to their own personality, their own cultural background, that's like, wow, I'm really special. And so when you feel special, you feel beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
And when someone is doing it for you, because for example, I had an adult figure in my life, and she used to, like, first of all, she has sleeping issues, but she used to take me shopping and stuff. And I'm not really a girly girl like that, but she wanted to go shopping, and she wanted me to be there with her. So that didn't really make me feel beautiful, because I kind of knew where it was coming from, and plus that's not me. So it's like, that didn't really make me feel special. So really, I just try to make them feel special, and in turn that makes them feel beautiful.
But that's absolutely it. So with Layla or with the boys, it's basically positive reinforcement and providing security for them and making them feel special, and in whatever way they need to see it and feel it. And it's different for everybody. It comes out differently. I mean, when I was a kid, I was a tomboy. I was a tomboy and a girly girl. I mean, I remember wearing my brother's clothes. I would put their baseball jerseys on, their basketball shorts. I felt comfortable in it. I liked it. I liked the look. But I was also a girly girl. I love polishing my fingernails. I love makeup. I love the 3-step process, taking care of my skin, washing my face, all of that. I love window shopping for pretty things. I just like doing it. That makes me feel special. That's comfortable to me. That's relaxing to me. So when you can focus on another person and meet them where they are, and not try to force them to be what you want them to be, not try to force them to look like how you want them to look or act how you want to act, I think that does instill beauty and confirm the beauty within them, because they don't have to change. And especially with young people, we do need to make them feel and let them know it's okay to be who you are, and you don't have to be anything different.
Also, I just wanted to add very quickly that a lot of these kids are dealing with not having money, being, so it's hard to feel when society vilifies poorness, not having money. It's very much like ill in society. And so that makes people feel, boy or girl, that makes people feel really unattractive.
Right.
So just letting them know that you're beautiful and you have the love of God inside of you. And society is we're in this worldly life right now, and people are gonna make you try to feel ugly because, I don't know, you don't have money, or because you're black, or because you're hood. They're gonna make you feel ugly, but you're not ugly because you have the love of God inside of you, and I love you. So that's another thing.
Exactly. Beauty is not going to a store. It's not buying something. It's not buying things. It's not buying clothes. It has to come from within you. It's who you are as a person. You can go into a store and buy anything that you want and still be the ugliest person because of your character and your attitude. So I think it's important to instill, especially in our young people, instill within them. Doesn't matter if you have money or not. That's not what real beauty is. Tangela, you want to say something?
Yeah, and I also think it's important, especially with the young people, to just try to, with all those positive affirmations and doing things that you can relate to them with is just building up their confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think just being out there in society, it's hard for the young people, a lot harder than it was when I was in school. So I think it is important to build their confidence so that they believe within themselves that they're beautiful. So.
Yeah. And a lot of us as adults, we're struggling because of what we went through as kids, as teenagers,
Mm-hmm.
as young people. Some of us can think back to high school, and in our 30s and 40s, it hits us like a gut punch, the things that we went through, so what you face and deal with as a young person, as teenagers, it shapes and molds you, how you are. So some of us are still dealing with issues in our 40s and 50s about being beautiful, feeling beautiful, looking beautiful, because we weren't encouraged and supported in our lives when we were younger. Luv Bay, I want to welcome you again to Suffering in Silence with Tia May on Luv Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We're here every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, with a replay on Tuesday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern. And we are rising out of the ashes together. So I want to share just a few facts from another article I read this week, and then a couple more resources. This article was written by Kanita Iyer, I-Y-E-R, of CNN. This is from Sunday, January 9th. The title of this article is Tennessee is the latest state to require hairstylists to complete domestic violence training. This was a really interesting article, so I implore you to look it up and to actually read the article. But I just wanted to share a few facts that it pointed out. Each year, over 12 million women and men are victims of intimate partner violence in the U.S., according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And I wanted to point that fact out because we use percentage numbers a lot, percentages, and I think to give a number, 12 million, it kind of hits differently. That's not just a percentage. So each year, over 12 million women and men are victims of intimate partner violence in the United States, according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And that's only in the United States. That is not including around the globe. Domestic violence hotlines receive more than 20,000 calls on a typical day, according to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Again, this is just the United States. Cases also rose during pandemic lockdowns, according to the National Commission on COVID-19 and Criminal Justice. In an analysis of data from multiple cities, the NCCCJ reported that incidents increased 8.1% after the imposition of lockdown orders in 2020. In a separate report, the commission reported a 9.7% increase in domestic violence calls during March and April of 2020. Again, this is from just information from an article written by Kanita Iyer, I-Y-E-R, of CNN. And a few resources. These are from Canada. In Ontario, a domestic violence helpline that you can reach out to is the Assaulted Women's Helpline. The number is 866-863-0511. In Quebec, you can reach out to SOS Violence Conjugal. The number is 1-800-363-9010. And in New Brunswick, you can reach out to the CHIMO Helpline, CHIMO. The number is 1-800-667-5005. So now we're going to get to our interaction for the evening. So for those who just humor me and just go along, this is our mirror interaction. So for all of you who grab the mirror, or you're standing in front of a mirror, or if you don't have a mirror, I want you to close your eyes and see yourself. Close your eyes and envision yourself. So as you look into the mirror, or as you see yourself through your mind's eye, see who God created. As you look into the mirror, understand that God didn't make a mistake. As you look into the mirror, see yourself. See your brown eyes. See your blue eyes. See your green eyes. As you look into the mirror, see your hair. Short, thin, long, thick. See your face, your nose, your ears, your jawline, your chin. See your lips. See your scar if you have one. See your body. See your full figure. See your thin figure, your arms, your legs, your hips, your thighs, your stomach, your muscles, or lack thereof. See you and appreciate you. No matter what they said, no matter what they did, you see you. You open your eyes and see who God created. You open your eyes and see that he did not make a mistake. No matter what they say, whether they appreciate you or not, whether they compliment you or not, it does not matter because you see you. You recognize you. You understand you. You appreciate you. Appreciate yourself as you look into this mirror and speak to yourself. Talk to yourself. Tell you that you are beautiful. Tell you, flaws and all, that you are beautiful. And you receive you, hold you, hug you. And if you're looking into an object that has distorted your reflection, you're still beautiful. That distortion is not your fault. So any distortion coming even from another person, that is not your fault at all. It's not your fault that they don't see you or that they don't recognize you or that they don't appreciate your beauty. Their distortion of you is their problem. Don't take it on. Don't carry it any longer. You are absolutely beautiful. And we are going to look at ourselves in the mirror, eye to eye, every day, and tell ourselves that we are beautiful. Luv Bay beauty is also embracing your flaws. Beauty is imperfection. Beauty is human. It's who you are in the complete fullness of your being. It's you as a person. All your wrongs, all your rights, all your I don't knows, all your emotions, all your fears and your encouragements, your confidence, your strength, your weaknesses, all that makes you a person, all that makes you who you are, that's beauty. And no one has the right to dictate your beauty to you. You take that. Don't give anyone that power. You take that back from them, even if it's not another person, because in large part, we're dealing with society. Take that power back from society. Don't allow social media to dictate to you what you should look like and feel like and how you should act. Don't let magazines and TV and movies dictate that to you. Don't. And it's a hard thing. I know if it's not something that if it's not something that you have not received in your life, but also when you have someone who is purposely trashing you and tearing you down. I know that that's a fight, and I know that that's something hard to work against. But you can, and you will, starting right now. If nobody else does it, that's absolutely fine, because the important one is you. It's how you look at you, and you go forward and do what you need to do for yourself, starting with your words. Even if you don't believe it, even if you don't see it, you say it and you speak it out, and you go forward from there every day. So this is the first homework assignment we've ever gotten. And this is what we are going to do. So, and that leads me to my next question, Tangela. I would ask you, because I know that it was difficult for some people to do that. You know, it sounded simple, look at yourself and tell yourself, you're beautiful and appreciate yourself. I know it's easy to say that, but I know somebody had difficulty in doing that. So, Tangela, I would ask you, what would you say to the person, or how would you encourage someone who can't see the beauty within themselves?
I think a lot that you just said is like the perfect response to this question. Like just having them understand that everything that they are and everything that they encompass inside and out is beautiful. Having them visualize it and to realize it and to believe it. I think that we do realize that some events in our lives may destroy our self-esteem. So trying to get back to before whatever happened and remembering who you were in that instance and how you felt about yourself is also important. So I just think just continuously the positive affirmations and just understanding and believing that you are beautiful regardless of anything else and just accepting everything that you are is very important.
Something else that I thought of that came to me, I found it really interesting when I realized that men struggle with beauty as well. But listening to Carrie, it kind of makes sense because it goes back to, when we're younger, we're dealing with young people. Boys, young men have that issue as well that they're struggling with and dealing with. But I have seen men over 6 feet tall, like a wall of muscle, who are not happy with themselves, who just feel like, I need to go lose weight. I need to go do something different. And it's like, what more are you going to lose? Like you have like 3% body fat. Like what are you going to get rid of? But it went back to what someone said to them, because somewhere in all those stories, there was a woman or a significant other or someone that held a valuable position in their lives that said, you should be a little bit smaller, or, if you were a little bit taller, you would be better. You would look better. But I mean, it's like you're 5'9". I don't care what you do. You can't grow 5 or 6 more inches. But I've seen men who they're really upset with themselves, because they don't fit what someone else thinks they should look like. They were perfectly fine until this particular image or this particular person came along with their criticism and their judgment. Now they're not happy with themselves.
And I think it is important for us to realize that it is both men and women that struggle with that, because a lot of times we don't think of men as someone that, that might be sensitive to certain things. So you might feel like you can say anything to them and it'll just roll off their back. So we just have to remember that we are all human beings and we all deserve to be loved and treated correctly.
Yeah. Carrie, what do you think?
In regards to the part where you said, can you tell me one more time which?
I think, for me, I think just realizing that men as adults are dealing with the issue of beauty as well. And it makes sense because of what you said with the young men that you're working with. But I mean, I've met men who truly are not happy with themselves physically specifically because of what other people said. They were fine until the criticism and the judgment, or they're looking at magazine covers.
Right. So I have heard young men be like, "Oh, I'm ugly," and I think, and sometimes they'll even have girls that like them or girls that be attracted to them. I think a lot of times that is rooted in a low sense of self-worth. That's why I try my best to make them feel special, because a lot of these young people, they feel so discarded, whether it be by their parents or by society. When you feel like a piece of trash, basically, you're not going to feel like you're cute. You're going to feel, you can even feel repugnant, like disgusted with yourself, because you feel like, oh, so nobody cares. And that can make you hate yourself because basically nobody has placed value on you. So you're like, oh. And that can lead to literally looking in the mirror and seeing something that you don't like.
Yeah.
And I know that you briefly mentioned body dysmorphia, about seeing literally a completely different person in the mirror, right? That can also happen spiritually. Like, you can look in the mirror and you could be a person that you be thinking to yourself, looking in the mirror, I'm a horrible person. And then maybe your friend would say to you, oh my gosh, how are you a horrible person? Why would you say that? Or, oh, I am a nag, or something like that. Something that is altering your self-image because of something that's happened to you. And since we do have a primary focus on experiences with women and specific trauma narratives like abuse, I think a lot of times abuse can do that to us. We can feel, and even with men, anytime there's abuse involved, neglect is abuse. And a lot of these young men have had hands put on them, by someone who they're supposed to trust. And so when there's a violation of trust, betrayal always impacts our self-worth. And I think that when you don't have anyone you can come to and express those feelings, it just kind of manifests within itself. And that's why it's so important to have shows like this, because even if there's not people directly talking about their experiences, they can get some form of catharsis by hearing us conversate. And women, I want you to know that if your significant other is attacking your physical appearance, the weight thing, anything like that, that's not okay. Like, I know it's kind of accepted in society. I should keep myself up for my man, or I should not put on a bunch of weight. I shouldn't let myself go, or I shouldn't be a nag, or the bitter black girl, or bitter girl, or you're just angry. You're just angry. Excuse me. No, because I feel like women go through so much invalidation. So if your husband is talking about, or your boyfriend, or a girl, if he's talking about the way you look, that's not okay. That's literally not okay. Especially as a woman, because that has such a deep impact on, we've been conditioned for that to be a part of our self-worth. On Instagram, there's all this body positive stuff, but we're so conditioned, like, and I do think we should fight against it, but we also can't negate the fact that that is really programmed in our heads.
Yeah.
So yeah, if someone is treating you like that, it's not on you. We can always look at self-improvement, but it's not on you. That is on them. Because nobody who truly, I'm not gonna. People are messed up, and they can do messed things and still love you, but sometimes that's not enough. If somebody is saying something, red flag. That's all I have to say.
So I agree with what you were saying, with what you were both saying. And self-esteem is a huge part of it. And some of us have been hurt greatly from abuse, from being put down, from being ignored, from not getting what it is that we need from those who we should be able to go to and get that love and support. And so what we're going to do, just like I've always said, I keep saying, and I will continue to say, your healing is your responsibility. You have to do what you need to do for yourself to start your healing journey. And part of your healing journey is rebuilding your self-esteem. Part of your healing journey is telling yourself that you are beautiful. It's giving yourself that affirmation that you have to do. We can't wait for other people to do it. Should they do it? Yes. Should the person that you love and says that they love you, should they be affirming you? Should they be encouraging you? Yes. But if you don't have that, and if they're doing the exact opposite, if they're intentionally trashing you and trying to hurt you, you're going to take that power away, and you are going to stand for yourself, and you are going to tell yourself and encourage yourself in your beauty. Tangela, you were going to say something?
No, I just agree with everything that you said. Yeah. It's very important to do positive affirmations. And also when Carrie said that, if somebody is telling you you're not beautiful, it's not acceptable, but it's also a reflection of them and how they feel about themselves. So sometimes it's not even about you. It's a lot of times it's about the person that is being verbally abusive and how toxic and broken they are inside. So we just want to keep that in mind.
Yes. And I want to also say, nothing is wrong if you like makeup, if you like clothes, if you like going to the store and buying things and, you know, doing things that make you feel pretty, that make you feel beautiful, that make you feel handsome, nothing is wrong with that. But are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for you? Are you putting in colored contacts because you want to? Or did somebody tell you, I don't like your brown eyes. I don't like your blue eyes. I think you would look better if you had green eyes. Why are you changing your eye color? Why are you making a decision to have cosmetic surgery? Do you want to do that? Because if it's what you want to do, I'm all for it. As long as it's a safe procedure, you know, you checked out the doctor and you went through, you know, dotted all your I's and crossed your T's, no problem. I support you 100%. But is the person next to you telling you that you need to be a little bigger or you need to be a little smaller? And that's why you're going to make this drastic change in your physical appearance, knowing you don't even want to. You didn't even think about it. So why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you spending so much money on these clothes and these shoes to look like a magazine cover? And again, a magazine cover, TV, movies, that's unrealistic. These people are paid, okay? They have hairstylists. They have makeup artists, you know, people on payroll to do these things. They have personal chefs, okay? If I had a personal chef and and a makeup artist living with me, I'd probably look a little different too.
Yeah.
But it's not realistic. Okay? How many people, even before they go on Instagram, YouTube, put on the hair and the makeup and they have the special lighting, all the stuff that you never see because you only see the finished product, but you don't see what went into that. And you don't see when all the hair and the makeup comes off and goes back to the store or goes back to wherever. So it's okay if looking and feeling beautiful to you means, you know, that you're putting on some makeup or particular clothes or you're doing some particular things. That's absolutely fine if you're doing it for you. Carrie?
Also, speaking of that, I just want to say, okay, this goes for all women, but I'm speaking from experience. We live in a society with Eurocentric beauty standards. Black women, there's nothing wrong with your body, okay? Mm-hmm. I know the whole slim thick thing is coming into style, but that still supports the skinny up top and then the big behind and the thighs or whatever, and now that's being adopted into pop culture. But just because we have roots in primarily West Africa and our bodies, and I think all Black women have the same curvaceous body. I'm just saying sometimes it's hard because we look at media and then we look at ourselves and we're like, oh, I should be smaller, or oh, maybe my arms are a bit big, or maybe I should, because we live in that society basically, and it's even hard sometimes when you've been exercising and you feel good and stuff like that. And oh, trust me, racism in doctor's office does exist. And then you've been feeling good and everything, and then you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, well, you're still a little obese. And then you're like, what? Because you feel so good and you're like exercising, you've been eating right, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've lost all this weight. And yes, things like BMI can be biased towards more Eurocentric frames and stuff like that. And even when you're going to the plus size section, you're like, what? Oh my gosh, even if that doesn't fit me. First of all, the way clothes are made is they may add the width or whatever. So imagine there's a girl who naturally is like a size 4 or even a size 2, and she puts on a whole bunch of weight. That plus size might be made for her, not necessarily someone you're naturally curvaceous or naturally more just have a more fuller figure. That might not be for you, and it might not fit you because it doesn't hit in the right places. it doesn't have those dimensions. It's just adding inches and like width. It doesn't have the right dimension. So I want you to know, not just black women, but women who are more naturally curvaceous. Okay, you are not like fat. You're not like condemned to fatness. Okay, I just want to put that out there. That is a struggle. But yeah, I just want to say that.
Yes, you are beautiful. However you are, however you were created, that is what beautiful is. And if you want to make some changes, fine. If you want to be a little thinner, if you want to be a little bigger, okay. Those are some things that you can do something about, if that is what you want to do. And I think also we have to keep in our mind and be realistic about things that you can change and things that this is how you are. It's not going to change. I'm 5'6". I'm not getting any shorter. I'm not getting any taller. I can't do anything about that. Okay, even if you put lifts in your shoes, even if you wear heels, eventually you gotta take them off. That's still not changing you. So that you need to love you, the core of you. And if there are some things that you want to do, go ahead. I'm all for it. I support you, but do those things because you want to. And whatever you see when you look in the mirror, that is beautiful right there. And also, you cannot forget what you see on the outside is not more important than what's on the inside. So your character and your attitude, that needs to match a standard of beauty as well. And again, we're just under the hour. So Tangela, I want to give you the last comment or any words that you want to share.
Well, I just wanted to thank you for having me, and I've definitely learned a lot from this conversation. And I do agree with a lot of things that you guys have said. It is very important for us to accept who we are and know that we're beautiful. And I think that no matter what society tells us or what anybody tells us, we are beautiful people. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie.
Yes. And I just want to say one last thing, you guys. So I know sometimes we see men, or sometimes men see women like, oh my gosh, she is fine, or he is fine, or whatever. And maybe they have money and it's very, on the surface level, they're very attractive. But then I think that we all have an appearance spiritually. So if you could see this person physically, like in the spiritual realm or something, how would they be looking? How would they be looking? Because I remember I saw this one graphic on Facebook, and it was like, it showed a picture of a man having, he was like, had a fair whatever, he was like laying in a bed with his house, and he thought it was a woman or whatever, a very attractive woman, but really this woman looked like Gollum. So, like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. So, do you know what that is, Tia? Smeagol is like a very troll-like creature.
Okay.
Who's very skinny and very unattractive, very pale. It's grotesque. But anyways, just imagine like the spiritual reflection or the spiritual appearance of someone. If you ever feel tempted with someone who's not cultured, try and imagine that. Try and like show your flesh a really unattractive image, and that might help.
Yeah, that goes back to the beauty on the outside has to match the beauty on the inside. Inside is more important. Your spiritual integrity, your character, your attitude, your intelligence, that's more important than what we classify as good looks. Luv Bay, if you want to catch up on previous episodes from the program, you can visit our YouTube channel at Suffering in Silence DV. We want to thank you for joining Suffering in Silence this evening with Tia May on Luv Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We're here every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're rising out of the ashes together, and I want to thank Carrie Hardy for being with me again, and I want to thank Tangela James for being here with me. Good evening.